Good evening and welcome to the News Hour Agenda. There was some respite for the people in Delhi and NCR as rains brought the pollution levels down significantly, with the AQI going below the 200 mark at most places. With improvement in air quality, the Delhi government has deferred the implementation of the odd-even scheme from the 13th of November. The AAP government will now review the situation after Diwali and take a decision then.
दिल्ली के अंदर रात से जो बारिश का मौसम बना हुआ है, बारिश हो रही है, हवाएं चल रही हैं, उससे दिल्ली में प्रदूषण का स्तर काफ़ी कम हुआ है, काफ़ी सुधार देखा जा रहा है। उसको देखते हुए सरकार ने निर्णय लिया है कि जो 13 तारीख से 20 तारीख तक ऑड इवन का निर्णय लिया था, उसे पोस्टपोन किया जा रहा है। दिवाली के बाद प्रदूषण के स्तर की समीक्षा करके और फिर सरकार आगे का निर्णय लेगी।
Even as Delhi saw notable improvement in air quality, the Supreme Court came down heavily on the AAP government of the national capital, saying, why do things move only after the top court intervenes? The top court has observed that odd-even scheme will have minimal impact and asserted that farm fires have to be stopped. The courts also asked the state government to not shift the burden on others for not performing its duties. The National Green Tribunal also wrapped the AAP rule states, asking the Punjab government to point out one city where the situation has improved. NGT said there's no improvement in Amritsar, Bhatinda, and that the state government's report and satellite images of stubble burning in the state do not match. Referring to the light rain which lashed the national capital region this morning, the NGT said that the state were rescued by God after realizing that nothing is being done on the government side. But despite the scathing comments from the Supreme Court and the NGT, AAP sought to shift the blame on the centre.
देखिए, ये बात सब लोग कहते हैं कि दिल्ली के अंदर जो है जियोलॉजिकल जो पोजीशन है हमारी, वो ऐसी है कि आसपास के राज्यों से ज़्यादा धुआं दिल्ली में आता है। दिल्ली के आसपास के राज्य प्रदूषण के ऊपर कंट्रोल करने के जो नियमों का पालन है वो नहीं करते। दिल्ली की कोई बाउंड्री नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है कि दिल्ली की कोई बाउंड्री है और दिल्ली अगर अपने आप को साफ रख रहा है तो दिल्ली की हवा साफ रहेगी। सब राज्यों को कोशिश करनी पड़ेगी और उसके अंदर केंद्र को जो है भागीदारी देनी पड़ेगी। केंद्र को आना पड़ेगा और केंद्र को समन्वय स्थापित करके अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन देना पड़ेगा और राज्यों को जो है एक टेबल पर बिठा के इसके लिए काम करना पड़ेगा।
The BJP's hit back strongly at the AAP government in Delhi, saying that there's pollution in their brains which needs to be cleared up first.
देखो, एक चीज़ मैं बताऊं, पहले तो इनके दिमाग का आर्डिवन ठीक होना चाहिए। दिमाग का पोल्यूशन जो है वो थोड़ा सा शुद्धिकरण हो जाए। अगर दिमाग में पोल्यूशन होगा तो आप कोई भी पोल्यूशन खत्म नहीं कर पाएंगे। आपके दिमाग में पॉलिटिकल पोल्यूशन भरा हुआ है, इसीलिए ऊपर वाला भी जो है वो समझ रहा था इस बात को, इसलिए ऊपर वाले ने भी जो ये आर्टिफिशियल बारिश की बात हो रही थी उसने ओरिजिनल बारिश करा दी। तो ठीक है, हम तो यही कहेंगे, गेट वेल।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And for more on this, let's go across to our guest. Joining us is RP Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP. With us is Karan Verma, political analyst and author. With us also is Dilip Cherian, who's the founder of Perfect Relations. Joining us is Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, as well as Sanjeev Kaushik, who is a political analyst as well. Let me start first and foremost with Ravi Srivastava. Ravi Srivastava, the question is this, that just look at today's scathing observations of the Supreme Court. They are saying that what exactly is going on? The government is so hell-bent upon the odd-even scheme, which as per the amicus curiae reduces pollution from 17% to 13%. Whereas the actual source of the pollution, which as per the CAQM report, which I'm sure you would have also seen, shows that over 39% of the source of this pollution is actually the stubble burning, 93% of which is happening in Punjab. Ravi.
Part of this data is actually a lot of creating a lot of confusion. That somebody says that the IIT study says it is only 24%, but CAQM study says that is 39%. So all these things are, slightly on divergence. But the fact is that parali burning has been a good source of pollution in Delhi, and it has come down almost 50% from the previous years. Even after Honorable Supreme Court's observations 2 days before, the Wednesday, the parali burning incidents were 2,000, which have come down on Thursday to 639 only. So fact is that the order of the Supreme Court or the observations have made a difference over there. But one thing is fact, I see a lot of takers running on various channels saying reprimanded or pulled up or criticized, all such things, I think that they are unwarranted.
Let me
Because
just
the
quote
Delhi
this.
government is doing.
Let me just quote for you. Let me just quote for you what the Supreme Court has said, and then let the viewers be the judge of whether this is a reprimand or not. Okay, the Justice Call says that we asked how do taxis come to Delhi. They said we'll introduce odd even in this also. They said we're going to wait for Supreme Court order. But what does Supreme Court order have to do with this? The counsel of the Delhi government says there will be a problem in commutation. The bench then says don't try to non-perform and shift the burden onto the court. Now you're trying to make a hue and cry about how other people will be effective. The amicus has said that odd even does not help. Now you want it for taxis. Where have we said that? Every little bit counts, says the counsel for the Delhi government. We have a study that shows it helps and decongests roads and refers to a report. The total vehicular pollution is 17%, says the bench. Out of this 17%, you says there's a decline of 13% in a window. Therefore, possibly, the amicus said that it doesn't affect there. I can go on and on where they talk about there should be a carrot and stick formula, but none of that is implemented in Punjab. There is, they talk about Punjab, they say there have to be incentives for a farmer to switch over. Here, neither is there a stick nor a carrot. What can be more scathing than this, Ravi Srivastava?
Madhav, see, the point is that this Honorable Supreme Court also said that any action against the farmers is a very, very sensitive one for any political state. Now, stopping the MSP or stopping the subsidies or taking the punitive action by the SHO to arrest them or file FIR and all such things, such measures, what Supreme Court has said that you decide the best, whatever you can do. But this parali has to stop. As regards odd even, Honorable Supreme Court said, no, we are not against it as such. But fact is that 17% to 13%, what Advocate Aparajita Singh said, that it is not a matter of convenience or it does not benefit the government anyway.
Then why did the government pull out the odd even scheme if it's not for the Supreme Court's scathing observations?
Yeah, the Gopal Rai has said that we are pulling it back.
Yeah, because there was too much effort going into a problem which is not where the disproportionate, there's a disproportionate amount of hardship and effort going into something that causes a 4% reduction rather than something that causes 39% reduction. I think it's common sense, sir. Let me bring in RP Singh on that. He wants to respond to you. RP Singh, Ravi Srivastava says that the government and there are different versions that are causing confusion, but the scathing observations of the court are on record. It's been very widely reported. Do you believe that they are scathing or not?
Madhav, let's divide this into two parts. One is the stubble burning in Punjab and other is what need to be done in Delhi. See, stubble burning creates this problem for almost a month or 15 days, this period, this period of after paddy season. And then we have a problem year long, which is the AQI of Delhi is above 200, 4 times than the danger level throughout the year, except the rainy season, that month or two, June, July and August most probably. But is Delhi government doing sufficient enough? And is Punjab government doing sufficient enough? And also, if you are comparing that, okay, the stubble burning has come down, I'll appreciate, Madhav, please show data day after day. They have this time cleverly staggered the stubble burning. So that's one way they have tried to fool people that, oh, see, the stubble burning has come down. Fact is, the Haryana has done the real job, where the stubble burning cases were 195 2 days back, and whereas in Punjab it was more than 3,000 that time also. There's a difference. One. Secondly, what is desired to be done in Delhi? Let me tell you 2-3 things. One is that Delhi need vehicles, Delhi need transportation, good transportation. Delhi needs some 15,000 buses. We are running on 7,000 buses. And out of which 700 are electric buses and right the center. So that's the thing. Delhi needs mechanical sweeping. This was promised by them that we will go by the mechanical sweeping. Delhi needs e-vehicle, try to push e-vehicles inside. And there's I'm giving a suggestion on your channel. Ask people to get their old registration number and let government say you buy e-vehicle, we'll pay the interest for the e-vehicle for next 5 years, and that money that interest component can be set aside against the carbon credits also. So there are solutions to it. How many trees has the Delhi government planted in last 6 years? Can they let them do audit on this? And how many trees have survived out of that? So this is
a very important
now,
points.
what about the industrial policy in Delhi?
Yeah, those are once again, let's
Another 2 points.
Okay,
Another
okay.
small 2 points. Another
Okay.
small 2 points.
I'll come back to you, sir. I'll come back to you. You've made a number of suggestions. Let me ask these questions because Ravi Srivastava also has to respond to these. Ravi Srivastava, what happens to the e-vehicles? What happens to the actual, quality of air? There are multiple factors, including the mechanized cleaning of roads. None of that actually we know what the Delhi government is really doing because promises have been made. There have been tall promises. But as citizens, we don't know what's happening.
I think you can see with your own eyes what is happening in Delhi. Yesterday, you saw on the border, the ministers were patrolling in the night and seeing that polluting vehicles do not enter into the city. The smog tower has been made operative again after
Sir, the court has pulled you up on the smog tower incident.
It was
the Supreme Court even today mentioned it.
But Honorable Supreme Court asked for it, so they implemented it.
The advocate Nadkarni says...
I want to say the green cover in Delhi has improved substantially.
I'm very glad you mentioned the smog tower. I'm very glad you mentioned the smog tower because the bench asked, what have you guys done? The advocate says not that the smog tower was closed, but the weather suddenly changed. It can't operate during the rainy season. To which the bench replies, every year it changes during this time, but you have not been able to solve this in 6 years. What we are more concerned is the data. So there are scathing remarks, Ravi Srivastava. Ultimately, people have been left to pray. Meetings are happening, but nothing at the ground level. Farm fires have to stop. Why do things move only after we intervene? This is a very, very serious and concerned bench, whose exasperation is writ large in the words that they are putting out. And this is what citizens like you and me are suffering.
You know very well that the remarks and the order are a divergence in several cases. So I think let us wait when the order comes in. The remarks are there. We saw the remarks in Manish Sisodia's mail also on 12th of October and what we saw on 30th of October. So let the order come. Let us see what is actually there in black and white. The operative part we should see that what government has really, Supreme Court has really ordered.
Dilip Cherian, I mean, it's okay. I mean, there's a technical argument that he's given that the orders sometimes are different from the observations. I mean, you've of course seen many such legal matters and you've been a journalist in the past as well. Perhaps that's true. But what the bench is just reflecting is the outrage of the common citizen of Delhi. Nobody can understand why it's taken 6 long years for everybody to do nothing.
Madhav, as you have seen and demonstrated just now, it is the political meme tutu which ignores the facts. The courts are actually and should actually be the last frontier. But what is happening is that it doesn't matter which government. Here there are people trying to defend the Delhi government. Somebody is trying to highlight the success of the Haryana government, conveniently forgetting the incapacity of the Maharashtra government in Bombay. The citizen's voice is actually what is stifled in all of this. The citizen's voice has only one thing to say: clean up our air, the technology exists, the money exists, please save our lives and the lives of future generations. That is what the voice of the citizen is saying. It is not as if the problems are of only measurement or the problems can only be solved when the bench decides to pronounce. We should actually be moving the bench in the month of March, in the month of May, in the month of June, so that we can ensure that citizens' voices are not throttled in this political yo-yo game that's going on. That is what is actually the prime cause of the problem. If there's one cause of the problem, it is political whataboutery that's going on. They do not recognize that every city in the NCR, all of which do not fall under the purview of any one government, is polluted. They do not recognize that Bombay has been choking. The problem is that instead of that, they're trying to score points against each other. And I think people like you need to cut through that and explain this to those who are viewing.
Let me get in the BJP spokesperson on that, because it is a fact. It is a fact, RP Singh, that whether it's Noida, whether it's Gurugram, whether it is Mumbai, those cities are also choking. And even you can blame the Punjab government, and nobody is exonerating the Punjab government for its inaction. Perhaps you may call it political appeasement, whatever it may be, the reason that they have failed to stop the farm fires, whereas other states may have. But even with the reduction of farm fires, at the end of the day, RP Singh, it is a fact that all these cities, and even far away Mumbai, is choking today.
Well, Madhav, I'll come to that. But first issue is...
Please answer, Mr. Cherian. I think it's a very pertinent point he has made.
Cherian sir, Dilip sir said... What Dilip Cherian said, that we need to look into a complete year-long problem. It's not that what is happening now is a knee-jerk reaction or problem which is erupting because of the stubble burning. I mean, that need to be solved. I'll come to that also, and court has given a lot of remarks on how the Punjab will turn into a desert. So that also need to, because of the paddy farming, because a lot of water is being consumed, and that center is prepared to support the state if they want any support from the center to make farmers switch from paddy to other crops. But that one point. But what is desired in Delhi, to first understand this, that they promise us 250 smoke towers. I will send you the clippings. But where are those smoke towers? One. Secondly, even the industrial pollution contributes to some 17%. Check on that. Some 17% of the Delhi pollution is because of industrial pollution. Have they thought of it? How do you save from that? But why can't they allow industrial areas to be converted into commercial areas and get all those people who are traveling to Noida or Gurgaon to stay back in Delhi and use that as a space for their other objectives and shift industry out of city? Why can't Delhi be one way? Delhi can be one way if they want. I'm prepared to take this as a challenge. Why can't Delhi be one way and complete Delhi can be red light free? If center can provide you eastern and western corridor and ensure that no trucks come to Delhi, why can't Delhi government take initiative? If central government can provide you Pragati underpass to reach to...
RPC, you haven't answered the specific question that I asked you. You haven't answered the specific questions about Mumbai and NCR, but yeah.
It has happened.
Yeah.
It has job is to be done by the Haryana and the UP government, sir. Which are your governments.
Okay, let me bring in other panelists also.
Yesterday only.
Let me bring in other panelists also. Sanjeev Kaushik, सवाल कई सारे हैं. There are many practical solutions to the problem. ये कहा जा रहा है कि सबसे पहले सरकार odd even के बारे में बात कर रही थी. Now they have pulled that back after what has been said. Then they're saying that Punjab से नहीं हो रहा, pollution बाकी जगह से आ रहा है, but that also Supreme Court has negated. You know, every time, and then of course we see the ministers going out. Many would say that perhaps the ministers going out was just to show the people that the ministers are working. What is the net result, outcome of that? None of us know, Sanjeev Kaushik. क्या असर हुआ इसका?
देखिए, दो बातें हैं. पहली बात तो ये कि देश की अदालतों को यदि दिल्ली सरकार के फेल्योर होने का या दिल्ली में जिस तरह से प्रदूषण चरम पे है उसकी यदि चिंता है और दिल्ली की जनता की चिंता कर रही है, तो केंद्र में बैठी हुई सरकार जो है उसको चिंता क्यों नहीं है दिल्ली की जनता की? केवल इसलिए कि दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार है. हम मानते हैं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल अपने तरीके से पूरी प्रयास कर रहे हैं और उस प्रयास के बावजूद भी
शाम को एक मीटिंग हुई है केंद्र सरकार की, अगर आपको जानकारी है.
आरोप प्रत्यारोप से मैं बिल्कुल अलग बात
कर उनके रिपोर्ट के बाद केंद्र सरकार की बैठक हुई है कल शाम को. कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी ने सारे स्टेट्स के अधिकारियों के साथ एक बैठक की है जहां पे मेन रोल पंजाब का ही बताया गया है.
मैं उसी पे आ रहा था. मैं सिर्फ ये कह रहा हूं कि यदि दिल्ली सरकार इस मामले में कंट्रोल नहीं कर पा रही है तो क्यों नहीं 3, 4 जो 5 राज्य हैं आसपास के, उन राज्यों के पर्यावरण मंत्रालयों के मंत्रियों को बैठा करके एक रास्ता परमानेंट सोल्यूशन निकालने की बात हो रही है. हम सिर्फ ये कह रहे हैं कि हमेशा केवल आरोप प्रत्यारोप के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस वक्त जिस समय ये माहौल खराब होता है वो आती है, वो 10 दिन 15 दिन के बाद में ये सारी कहानी खत्म हो जाएगी, हवाएं चलनी लगेंगी और फिर वो अपने घर चले जाएंगे. दिल्ली की जनता के लिए यदि चिंतित है तो एक अस्थायी निदान होना चाहिए. और यदि लगता है
You can respond. Please, just one second. I want to ask Sanjeev Kaushik a specific question. Sanjeev Kaushik.
कोई ऐसा रास्ता?
Sanjeev Kaushik.
कोई रास्ता तो दिखाया.
Sanjeev ji. No. Let's be fair. RP Singh has spoken about several concrete measures when he started speaking. I don't know if you heard him or not. He was talking about electric buses and what all needs to be done, mechanical sweeping of the roads. But आप मुझे बताइए संजीव जी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी हम मान लेते हैं पॉलिटिक्स कर रही है, राजनीति कर रही है. आम आदमी पार्टी 6 साल से जो सरकार में जब से पोल्यूशन शुरू हुई है, आम आदमी पार्टी ने क्या कॉन्क्रीट स्टेप्स लिए हैं साल भर में? ये हर बार ये इसी समय पे क्यों जागते हैं लोग? हाँ, वो राजनीति जरूर कर रहे होंगे, लेकिन सरकार भी तो कुछ नहीं कर रही है जनता के लिए।
पर्यावरण किसी एक बूते से, यदि कोई एक स्टेट की गवर्नमेंट यदि ये सोचती हो कि पर्यावरण को हम कंट्रोल कर लेंगे और हमारे बूते की बात है, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये बेईमानी होगी। जब तक केंद्र सरकार तटस्थ होकर केंद्र सरकार उसके साथ यदि कदम से कदम ताल ना मिला, ये बिल्कुल संभव नहीं है। लगातार मैंने कहा कि लगातार प्रयासों के बावजूद यदि उस पर कंट्रोल नहीं हो पा रहा है, तो पुनः एक बार मिल के काम करने की जरूरत है। फिर मैं दोबारा दोहरा दूं, दिल्ली के आसपास में जितनी सीएनजी बस, दिल्ली के आसपास में, दिल्ली में तो सारे कंट्रोल कर लिए गए, लेकिन आसपास के सिटी में जब
प्रॉब्लम पता है क्या है?
देखते हैं दिल्ली के मंत्रियों,
प्रॉब्लम ये पॉलिटिकल विल की है, जो दिलीप चरियन जी कह रहे थे। क्योंकि जस्टिस कॉल की मैं आपको बताता हूं, जो बेंच ने आज कहा है, उनका कहना है कि लास्ट ईयर यू वांटेड टू फोकस ऑन पंजाब, दिस ईयर यू डोंट वांट टू, दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम। Punjab's proportion is so high compared to other states. AC Singh फिर कहते हैं कि farmers are a sensitive constituency, so no government wants to touch it. फिर Council for Punjab कहते हैं, let us give a proposal in writing. Farmers are also part of society. We have to be sensitive to their problems, says the bench. But the problem is this, that end of the day, बेंच पे ये ऑब्जर्व कर रही है कि आप पंजाब के लिए कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं। आप पिछले साल आपने वादा किया था, केजरीवाल जी ने कहा था कि हमें 1 साल दीजिए। इस 1 साल में क्या हुआ है?
तो केजरीवाल साहब ने कहा था, और यह बात भी सही है कि केजरीवाल साहब ने जो प्लान बनाया था, उस प्लान के हिसाब से खेतों में जो पराली की को खत्म करने या काट करके वहीं पे खाद बनाने की जो प्रोसेस है, वो काफी खर्चीला है। मैंने कहा कि केंद्र के सहयोग के बगैर ये बहुत बड़ा खर्चीला सिस्टम है, उसके बगैर ये संभव नहीं हो सकता है केवल बैठ करके। और आप चाहते हैं कि पंजाब के किसानों के ऊपर सख्ती की जाए इसके लिए?
ओके, करण वर्मा, व्हाई इज द सेंटर नॉट सीरियस इज अ रिपीटेड क्वेश्चन कमिंग फ्रॉम संजीव कौशिक। Yeah, let Karan also come in. He has not yet spoken. RP Singh.
Now, please, can I make a point, Madhav? I have patiently waited. I do not want to be interrupted when I am speaking. That is my humble request now. Please, to all the panelists, I haven't interrupted when any of them spoke. What Mr. Kaushik said is कि सेंटर क्या कर रही है इसमें। मैं बताता हूं केजरीवाल ने क्या कहा कि सेंटर ने क्या किया है। 14th December 2019, Arvind Kejriwal thanked the Prime Minister Modi, and said, "Thank you for the Eastern and Western Peripheral Expressway. This will save at least 30 to 40,000 trucks from coming to Delhi on an average, and it is a huge contribution to the cause of environmental pollution here in Delhi. Thank you very much." Again, Kejriwal went on to thank the central government for providing electric buses. So this is what the center did. Arvind Kejriwal, now I'm going to tell you what he has not done. He is sitting on 1286 crores, which has been collected as the environmental cess, and he has not spent that on curbing pollution. He has not done enough to curb vehicular pollution, to curb industrial pollution. And Madhav, when they asked why does the court have to come in, every single time the court has to come in, otherwise Arvind Kejriwal won't do a thing. You remember for the RRTS project, Arvind Kejriwal said we cannot invest on the RRTS project. The court reprimanded and the court ordered that you spend so much on advertising, you have to spend 415 crores because this will unchoke the area from Delhi to Meerut. So Arvind Kejriwal has to be pulled up by the court every single time. What about the smog tower? He spent 24 crores and he did not work for 2 years. What about the biodecomposer that he promised? He spent 23 CR on the advertisements of the biodecomposer, and he's not spent that on creating that. So the fact of the matter is, Madhav, that proof of the pudding lies in the eating, and we have a very insincere government that has failed on every front.
Karan, I think we have firmly established all of these facts to the course of the debate, but I have a question to ask you. The question that is being asked.
Is he trying to cure pollution by sitting in Madhya Pradesh?
Yeah.
Or by sitting in Haryana?
Let me come in now. The question that many are asking is this. End of the day, the Delhi government may have failed. I think the court's observations have made that quite clear. The court has spoken, sir. I don't think I don't need to articulate more on that. But the question that many are asking is this, out of genuine concern, that end of the day, this is our national capital. We call ourselves an emerging superpower. We want to become the 3rd largest economy of the world. We call ourselves Vishwaguru. But we can't get our act right when it comes to pollution. Surely there is something the center can also do, since the Delhi government has failed.
Madhav, can I answer that?
Question is for me?
Yes, Karan, question for Karan. I'll come to you, RP Singh. Just one second. Let Karan respond to this.
I just answered, Madhav, what the Prime Minister has done in terms of Eastern-Western expressways, in terms of giving electric buses. If we have a CM who cannot do anything, he must resign immediately. If he's failed to live up to the mandate of the people, if he's failed to clean Yamuna, then he must resign and say, I cannot do it. Let Prime Minister Modi, let the LG, let them take over.
Okay.
He must then submit. Because otherwise people will say, oh, this is fascism, oh, this is intervention.
RP Singh, I want RP Singh to respond to that now. Yes.
So
if he does not resign, then you arrest him.
Let's then admit that
That's
he's
the
failed.
solution.
No, but the problem is even after they arrest him, he may not resign is what he's saying.
The law will
RP Singh, the problem is, Ravi Srivastava, the problem is the other way around. Even if he goes to Tihar jail, he will govern from there. So I think the problem is a little different from how you are articulating it. All right. On a lighter note, RP Singh.
Ridiculous statement. He cannot govern from Tihar jail. He'll have to resign.
Madhav, coming to the point. Madhav.
Yeah.
The center has provided money to the Punjab government, UP government, Haryana government. UP and Haryana has spent it. The Punjab government has not spent it. The machines were provided to the Punjab government. We don't know where the machines has gone. I mean, we have lodged a fire around that machines. That please let's see where the machines are for the stubble.
Yeah.
But problem is is Delhi government or Punjab government sincere about it or not? We will go to all extent to support them. Let them give a proposal that we need all this. We will support them. I'm assuring you.
Okay.
But
we'll have to leave it there, gentlemen. Completely out of time.
Completely out of time. Sorry,
It's an issue that
government,
people in Delhi NCR are extremely worried about. Many North Indian cities also facing the same problem. But the problem is that we seem to somewhere lack the political will. The courts have in fact come out and made some very strong, some very critical observations. We hope that this at least forces governments into taking action and we're not left at the mercy of the elements. It's literally the rain that has washed Delhi's air clean and people are able to breathe again in the national capital today after the last 6 to 7 days of extremely poor or severe quality air that the citizens of the NCR have had to breathe. We'll have to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us.